What I found really interesting was that you were into Black Sabbath.
Oh, hell yeah.
From record of your dad, Iron Man. The
Yeah.
unfortunately, Beavis and Butthead had made it
That's funny.
popular again. But there's also a song on the album. It's called Cory's Song,
Uh-huh.
and it's about your friend Cory James Down.
Mm-hmm.
He played in Lizzie Borden.
Okay.
And there was a heavy metal band
Mm-hmm.
from LA, and it was in the early 90s, I guess. Were you into heavy metal back then too?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, I mean, when I was a kid, you know, initially, my whole thing's sort of come full circle with like my dad's record collection and things like Sabbath and, you know, early Vitamins like Simon and Garfunkel and Cat Stevens and things like that. And then, you know, when I started playing guitar, I went straight to electric guitar, you know, and I was like a shredder, you know, play as fast as humanly possible. And
What was the best solo you could play?
Oh shit.
Dio Satriani.
You know, I could play stuff like that, but you know, my style was always more like David Gilmour. You know, very melodic and stuff. But yeah, I now, and the thing is, there's no room for that really in today's world to shred or anything like that. So that's always like my little dark secret. I do that at home. You know, I'm a big guitar collector and a geek.
But were you with Cory? Were you into certain band back then?
Were we listening to certain bands? Oh, you know, things like Soundgarden and stuff like that. You know, definitely had a big, you know, impact. And you know, yeah, you know, talking about Cory, I mean, he was such a dear friend, and you know, that was a big thing in my life. And you know, this whole record is sort of informed by, you know, like I was saying, you know, in the period between 2008 and 2010. You know, the economy kind of went bad everywhere, and so again, I was going out into the world and seeing a lot of people defeated, and a lot of people that had lost their businesses and home life and things like that. And then, you know, one of my lifelong friends just gone so quickly, and you know, as an artist, you know, as a writer, poet, whatever, you know, the way I process things is to write about them, and I just saw all this stuff coming at me, and I just kept trying to like spin it back to positive and just say, you know, life is a gift and life is beautiful, and you know, sometimes it gets really heavy, but it's, you know, you're obligated to still enjoy it and make the most of it while you're here. So I tried, you know, to take all of that heavy stuff that was coming at me and turn it into something beautiful, you know.
Because when did you write this song, for example, that Cory song? When did you write it?
I wrote it, you know, basically, you know, I went home for his funeral to Pennsylvania, and that was just a very profound experience. It was beautiful. It was freezing cold and snowy, and just the whole thing was very surreal. And I was a pallbearer, and I knew, you know, I would write about it at some point or whatever. But I came home from the funeral, and I just sat down and it just wrote itself. And you know, this was whatever, the end of 2009 or something. I wrote it and I recorded it in GarageBand on my laptop, and I sent it to his parents immediately, and you know, before even kind of thinking. But again, I wanted it to not be a bummer song about death. It's more of a celebration of his life, and it's really, you know, you know, again, I try to be fairly transparent and write honest music, and so as I tour, you know, a lot of people ask me to play that song, and you know, a lot of times there's people crying, you know, pretty much every night, you know, and I think, you know, on some level I take that as a compliment, you know, because I've been to Neil Young concerts and stuff, and I've been moved to tears at Neil Young shows, you know, and you know, you want to get an emotional response, but you know, it's a funny thing to be out there and playing this song, you know, that came from such a heavy thing.
What's the part or what's the line that people really can relate to in that song? What they say to you?
Well, you know, gosh, where was I? I was playing in Ventura just a few weeks ago, and there was a woman in the front row, and she just said that she had lost her sister, and you know, she was an older woman. She was probably in her late 40s or 50 or something, and she'd lost her sister the week before, and she just said, "Thank you for that song," you know. And I think again, it's just, you know, the idea of goodbye for now or something like that. It doesn't have to be so final. You know, just trying to, you know, I felt a real obligation in writing a song about someone's death for it to not be a, you know, horrible downer. You know, it's kind of a sweet song.
I think the song wasn't written. I think it was written at the end of January 2009.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he passed away on 24th.
Okay. Yeah. So it was. Yeah. Yeah. It was probably January or February.
Yeah, because you were saying but
it was soon after I came home.
Yeah.
I like the way you know these details.